Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival with LD7. Just picking up a little bit ahead of where we were last time. As you probably can tell, there's some new things here, so I went ahead and built a fridge and a food processor. The reason being, the food processor lets you build different food items, which is cool. And then the fridge, let me come over here, actually increases the perish time on all your foods. So I figured it was worth doing. I did go loot out the Crash Titan that we found a couple episodes ago, and I found one of these insulation boosters as well as some Promethium packs because they had some fuel. I also mined the Promethium ore deposit. I also finished off the copper, silicon, and iron deposits that were by our starting area, so those are all mined out, which means we really need to go find some more ore deposits in order to keep on being able to produce things. With that being said, I went ahead and also finished off the tutorial because it tells you to go like cut wood, build a chainsaw, which we already did, and build a base. So I mean, we already did the missions that I skipped, so no worries there, guys. Basically, you know, you have to build a base in order to build a hover vessel, so I don't know why building a base is at the end instead of at the beginning, but whatever, it's fine. With that being said, though, I did go ahead and construct a T1 light fighter L7 Cobalt Moon whatever. So it's a small vehicle. I used just the little factory here, so this is the resource cost: 162 copper, 126 silicon, 123 carbon substrate, and 102 iron. It also took 20 minutes of in-game time in order to build, so I didn't want to make you guys wait for that to build. I just went ahead and did it in between, and I figured I'd show you guys kind of how this works. So if I go back in to the blueprints, I have this spawn button. If I hit spawn, it'll give me the craft, which I can place in the world like so. And there we are. So we've got our small vehicle. There's an armor locker on it. That's kind of cool. There's obviously thrusters. It looks like there's, I don't know if those are rockets or something else, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's the back of the ship. Looks like there's 2 miniguns on it, so that's pretty nice. Some landing gears, lights, whatever. So if we go inside of the ship, and I'm just gonna access it through the control panel here to fill up our fuel. So these 7 Promethium packs only gives us 12%, but that should last a decent amount of time. We could also, while we're here, before we take off, I'm gonna go make some minigun ammo so we can fire the turrets. So let's go on up to our large constructor so I can show you that. Oh, I also built this clone chamber. What this does is it sets your spawn point right here, so if we happen to die, we'll spawn at our base, which is good. I also built the bed, that way I can skip the nights. Anyway, here we are. We need to go to military and 15mm bullets. So we're just going to queue up 10, I guess, and see how many it gives us for each one. 100 each. So let's make 2,000 ammo, might as well. I don't think it's all that expensive. Yeah, it's not. It just takes a fair amount of steel, so we'll want to go salvage a base at some point, but that's fine. We're going to come back down here and get our ammo so we can load up and kind of roll out and explore. I like the small vehicles so much more than the hover vessel just because it can fly, so it's easier to scout with. Another little trick, just because once you have armor, you also have access to a helmet and a jetpack, so you can toggle the jetpack with the J key. So I have it turned off now, and you can take off your helmet with the U key and put it back on with the U key. I leave it on because it doesn't really hurt anything, and in fact it's actually better for you to have it on. Outside of that, we unlocked some various techs. I haven't really built those out yet, so we'll cover that later. But yeah, so we're about to hit kind of the fun part of the game, where you fly around in your ship. I am going to make some more Promethium packs. It only takes 10 pellets, and you get 10 for each ore, so we're going to make maybe 10 of them, I guess. and just let that kind of churn so we have some extra fuel, because the worst thing that can happen is you start flying around and you end up running out of fuel. So, got some ammo now. We'll load up once the rest of this builds, and then we'll go scout around in our small vehicle because it's fun. Anyway, so that's kind of what we've done over the past couple, I don't know, it's maybe like 2 hours worth of gameplay, something like that, to get all these resources, what have you. I just didn't include it because I figured it's kind of boring watching me go around and do the same thing. With that being said, we are going to go scouting. Something I might want to build is a detector, actually. Well, that only goes on hover vehicles, so never mind. We're not going to build that. I think our ship will mark things by default, hopefully. If not, I guess it is what it is. But we've got 8 packs. I mean, that's a little bit more fuel. So let's go ahead, get back in the ship. Oh, did it turn it on? It looks like it did, which is not what I wanted. So we'll turn off the power so it's not burning fuel. And we'll put in these 8. So now we have 25%. That's a lot better than what we started with. The other thing is to go in here and load up your gun so you're ready to roll. So now we've got ammunition, we've got fuel. We don't have any oxygen. Actually, we can go grab some water. That's another thing I built between episodes. Let me take the hover vehicle. Oh, I also painted this. Yeah, it's not great, but whatever. It works. So, I did figure out what the keybind is to turn this on. It's the Y key. So if you push Y, it'll turn your vehicle on or off. So yeah, just little tips. So this down here is our water harvester or pump. I forget what they call it. We're going to kill this tellurapod, though, because they can move fast sometimes. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Now let's go check this out. So the way these work, you put like some sort of power, so either biofuel, promethium, whatever, and it'll output water containers every once in a while. So it's like every 2 minutes or something you get a container, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, so we've got some water. If we go back to base, I believe we can refine this into oxygen, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out. So, fly back over. Not too bad. And the reason why we want oxygen is because if we decide we want to go into space, if you don't have oxygen on the ship, you'll suffocate, which obviously we don't want to have happen. So let's see if we can make a little bit of oxygen before we take off. That way we're ready to go. We'll probably end up covering, all of... or we'll start actually using the small vessel next episode, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys what we did in between sessions, give you a little overview of what you can do. And let's see, so there's purified water, that's fine. There should be oxygen somewhere, oxygen tanks. So if I make some of these, it takes 1 water container and 1 steel plate, so we should be able to make 25 if we use all of our water. I'm not going to. I'm just going to make 20 because I believe the oxygen bottles fill up pretty good, all things considered. With that being said, obviously a lot of work has been done in between sessions. I mean, if you're actually playing the game, you will have to grind a little bit in order to be at the same, to get the resources to be able to do what we're doing today. But that's kind of where the fun comes in. I don't want to spoil too much of the game for you, just more or less give you a path on how you can play. With that being said, we're just about out of time. When we come back next time, we'll have all the oxygen and we'll be ready to start using our small vehicle. But with that, if you're enjoying the series thus far, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this has been LD7, and we'll see ya.